Alright guys, time for what if Goku was reborn with all his memories. I've seen a lot of people do this, it was kind of cringe, but you all voted for it, so I have no choice but to do it. With all that being said, let's get it started. Goku would wake up in a space pod. He would be confused. As he looked around, the space pod looked like the kind Vegeta and Nappa used to get to Earth. As Goku got out of the space pod, for some reason it looked a lot bigger than it should. But then he looked around. Everything looked bigger than it should. Suddenly, he would see Grandpa Gohan walk out. Goku was confused. He didn't have a halo. He'd walk up to him and say, Who wished you back to life?" Grandpa Gohan looked down at him confused. "Wished me back to life? What are you talking about, boy?" "Boy?" Goku would then look down at himself through some water reflection, and he would realize something. He was a kid again. This can't be. This is impossible, Goku thought. Grandpa Gohan would take him in, and Goku would be, well, since he was an adult, way better behaved. Goku would pretty much just train and act normal, even though he was very confused and saddened that his family was gone, and that he's going to have to rebuild them from scratch, even if he even can. One night, Goku would be curious if his form still worked, so he would try to turn Super Saiyan and it worked. Then he would go up to God, then Blue. Goku was happy that all these forms worked. Now, I guess all he could do was wait for Bulma to show up. And Goku knew not to look at the full moon, so Grandpa Gohan wouldn't die. Goku thought about continuing the timeline, but he just couldn't bring himself to do it. However, eventually someone would show up. It wasn't Bulma, it was Kami. Kami would look at Goku. Goku would be confused. "What are you doing here?" Kami would say, "I felt a massive presence." Goku then realized something. Kami is somewhat of a guardian of Earth. That means he's somewhat of a god. He can sense somewhat of God Ki. He sensed Goku's massive energy and went to check it out. Of course, Goku didn't think of that. Goku would say, "I need to wait here for someone." Kami would be confused as he would try to get Goku to come out to his lookout to train. He didn't seem like a bad kid after all, but he wanted to make sure his intentions were pure. And Grandpa Gohan actually agreed, but Goku would not go. He refused, saying, "I must wait." Kami would reluctantly agree to let him wait. As Kami left to go back to the lookout, Goku simply sat down. Grandpa Gohan would say, "What are you waiting for? Someone to show up." "I know they will. They have to jumpstart a journey." "A journey?" Grandpa Gohan would say, confused. Goku wouldn't be the same in this timeline, obviously. Grandpa Gohan realized that he wasn't even when Goku was grown up, he wasn't super mature, but Goku didn't act like most kids. He was more serious about what was going on around him. And he was more concerned about Grandpa Gohan than anything. Grandpa Gohan really liked Goku, and he was happy to spend time with him. Eventually, however, a girl would show up, and her name was Bulma. Grandpa Gohan would be there with the Dragon Ball, and Goku would simply just give it to her as soon as she showed up, and he would say, "Let's go." Grandpa Gohan said, "Wait, you're just gonna go like that?" Goku would look at him and say, "Yeah." "Why?" Grandpa Gohan would say, "Do you need any food or anything?" "Nah, Master Roshi will have food." Bulma would say, "Who's Master Roshi?" Grandpa Gohan would say, "How do you know about Master Roshi?" Word gets around. "Alright, see you, Grandpa." Him and Bulma would then leave. Goku would then think about it, and he decided he would have to hide his power level. Luckily, Dr. Gero wouldn't have drones yet looking at him, so they wouldn't have noticed him turn into Super Saiyan and Super Saiyan God. But eventually, Dr. Gero is going to start to watch, and when he does, he needs to make sure he doesn't turn Super Saiyan or anything. Otherwise, that can make him far more powerful and much more of a threat. As Goku and Bulma went to Master Roshi's house and did a bunch of other things, Goku would pretty much speedrun Dragon Ball, since Goku knew what was going to happen and was far, far stronger. So, there's really not much to cover until he got to Master Roshi's house. As Goku and Bulma would go there, this time Master Roshi would give him the Flying Nimbus, and Goku would ask to train under him like in canon. But this training was simply so Goku could talk to Master Roshi and spend time with him. Master Roshi agreed, and Goku completely completed every single challenge he had. And Goku would simply talk to him and act like a normal kid, but He would have a good time, and Master Roshi would be confused on how strong Goku was, and how he even knew the Kamehameha. And Goku just pretended to learn it, but, it was still very impressive. However, Goku realized something. Pilaf needs to get King Piccolo so he can get Piccolo. After all, Piccolo's a good guy. He deserves to be born. So, him and Bulma would eventually make their wish, and Pilaf would be more and more concerned as things would go in canon and summon King Piccolo. As Goku speedrunned all the other arcs, all he had to do was take care of King Piccolo. Tambourine would fly down to try to kill Krillin, but he would jump up and kick off Tambourine's head. Krillin would look at him and say, "Wow, you saw him coming." "Yeah, I did," Goku would say, smiling. "I'll always protect you, buddy." Krillin laughed at Goku. Krillin actually liked Goku from the start in this alternate timeline. Goku seemed less focused on competing with Krillin and more just having fun with him. At first, that kind of ticked Krillin off, but Krillin got around to it. Goku would then go over to where King Piccolo was since he could sense his energy. He was going to stop him from getting the Dragon Balls and wisdom from eternal youth, although it wouldn't matter in the long run. King Piccolo began to get the Dragon Balls when suddenly he spotted something. He felt an energy walking towards him. Goku was suppressed, since Goku didn't want them to know how strong he was. So King Piccolo just simply looked at the kid. "You're a bold one for walking up to me. Do you even know who I am?" Goku says, "Doesn't matter, because you're about to be dead soon." King Piccolo then looked at him angrily, as he stretched out his hand to try to grab him, but then he appeared behind him and kicked him to the floor. Goku could kill him right here and now, but then he wouldn't birth Piccolo. He was going to have to beat him up, make him frustrated. Then he was going to have to slowly kill him so he can birth out his son. King Piccolo got up and said, "How dare you mock me? I am the great Demon King." Goku would laugh and say, "Demon, huh? It's funny to think you were a demon." King Piccolo looked down and say, "What are you talking about?" "Well, you're more like a slug person." This would piss King Piccolo off more than anything. But he couldn't do anything. Goku would simply beat him up. Every time he got up, he would punch him down to the ground. Every time he did something, he would hit him. Every time he tried anything, he would hit him with a ki blast. Piccolo kept being more and more injured as he tried, but he couldn't do anything. He got more and more frustrated until Goku went for the kill and pushed his fist straight through his stomach. This would cause Piccolo to shoot out an egg, as then Goku would simply kill King Piccolo. As he looked, he saw the egg go flying by, and he knew Piccolo would be born. As he smiled, he would get married to Chi-Chi, and he was excited. He did it. He managed to complete the timeline. Sure, there may have been a few changes here and there, but overall, everything was good. And Grandpa Gohan was even alive, and probably was going to live for a long time, since Master Roshi would probably teach him the immortal technique. So, everything seemed nice. It seemed like there would be no more problems. At least that's what everyone thought, except for Goku, who knew, of course. Eventually, though, he would go to a World Martial Arts tournament, and Piccolo would show up. Eventually, though, Piccolo Jr. would show up for a tournament, and Goku would be excited to fight him. He would know everything about Piccolo Jr., about how he wasn't as bad as his father, how he just wanted revenge because he didn't know what to do with his life. And Goku actually smiled, and this time, Goku didn't even say anything towards him. Piccolo simply talked about him, about how he would avenge his father, and Goku looked at him and said, "Okay." This pissed Piccolo off. Eventually, they would begin to battle each other, but this time, Goku would try to act. He didn't want everyone to know how strong he was, so he would try to pretend that he was struggling. As Piccolo turned giant, Goku hit him with a Kamehameha. Piccolo tried to resist it, but Goku put in just enough energy to push him out. But for a split second, Piccolo saw it. He felt it. He felt Goku's true power. It was immense. As much as Goku tried to hide it, Piccolo was a master martial artist, and he could see through it. Piccolo would fall to the ground, beat up, as Kami would offer to kill himself, but Goku would deny it, and even give him a senzu bean. As Piccolo ate it, he looked at Goku and sighed as he walked off. And that is going to leave things off. Sorry I didn't show a lot. Just Goku would honestly speedrun it, so there's no point in showing it. But don't worry, there will definitely be more emotional, more story-driven story. That said story. This story will be more about emotion than fight since Goku's so overpowered. And it will really pick up during the second episode, I promise. Anyway, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Let me know what you think down in the comments below. Peace out. Love you all.